What if I told you that while you're busy coddling expensive, fragile vegetables that wilt at the first sign of heat, a secret gold mine of nutrition is already thriving in your yard, and you're probably trying to kill it? We've been sold a massive lie by the multi-billion-dollar gardening industry. They've convinced us that growing food is a high-stakes battle requiring specialized fertilizers, endless hours of weeding, and a shelf full of chemicals. But the truth is much more rebellious. The most resilient, nutrient-dense, and immortal vegetables on the planet don't need you at all. These are the forgotten powerhouses, crops our ancestors relied on because they were literally fail-safe. They laugh at droughts, ignore poor soil, and produce a bounty of food while you're off doing literally anything else. In this guide, we are pulling back the curtain on the industry's best-kept secret. We are digging up 20 forgotten vegetables that big agriculture buried because they were too independent, too vigorous, and far too easy to grow for free. These aren't just weeds. They are a lazy gardener's dream and a survivalist's insurance policy. From the sidewalk superfood that packs more omega-3s than any other leafy green to the invincible tuber that provides a permanent food bank in your soil, it's time to stop fighting nature and start harvesting her treasures. Vegetable 1. Purslane. Commonly dismissed as a nuisance poking through the cracks of a driveway or a weed to be poisoned in a manicured flower bed, purslane is actually a succulent miracle of the plant world. While most modern vegetables require soft, tilled earth and constant moisture, purslane thrives in the most inhospitable environments imaginable, baking in the summer heat, nestled in gravel, or flourishing in compacted soil that would suffocate a tomato plant. It is a living mulch, spreading its thick, reddish stems across the ground to keep moisture in the soil, even when you've forgotten to water for weeks. This plant is a nutritional powerhouse that puts high-end health foods to shame. It famously contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any other leafy green on the planet. This makes it a vital resource for heart health and brain function, grown for free in your own backyard. The beauty of purslane lies in its absolute refusal to be a burden on the gardener. You don't need to buy seeds, and you certainly don't need to plant it in the traditional sense. You simply need to stop pulling it out. Its thick, paddle-shaped leaves have a delightful, slightly salty and citrusy crunch that adds a gourmet flair to salads. Because it is a cut-and-come-again crop, you can snip the tips of the stems for your lunch, and the plant will immediately respond by branching out and growing even more vigorously. It's essentially a zero-effort, self-replenishing supply of vitamins A, C, and E. Vegetable 2. Lamb's quarters. If the spinach you buy at the grocery store is a pampered, high-maintenance poodle that wilts the moment the sun gets too hot, lamb's quarters is a lean, mean, wild wolf. Often referred to as wild spinach, this plant is one of the most prolific and hardy greens in the Northern Hemisphere. It is easily identified by its diamond-shaped leaves and a distinct dusty, silvery coating on the undersides, a natural protective wax that helps the plant shrug off pests and drought. While modern agriculture views it as a competitor to commercial crops, the reality is that lamb's quarters is often more nutritious than the crops it's growing next to. Gram for gram, it is packed with more protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamin C than almost any cultivated green you can find on a supermarket shelf. Lamb's quarters loves disturbed soil, which means it is biologically programmed to follow humans. Wherever you dig a garden bed or turn the earth, it will appear as if by magic, ready to provide a massive harvest without a single drop of fertilizer. For the lazy gardener, this is the ultimate win, a crop that seeks you out. You can harvest the young, tender leaves to eat raw in salads or cook them down exactly like spinach, but with the added benefit that they don't shrink down to nothing the moment they hit the pan. Vegetable 3. Dandelion. The dandelion is perhaps the most unfairly maligned plant in history. In the pursuit of the perfect green lawn, millions of dollars are spent every year on toxic herbicides to kill a plant that is essentially a pharmacy and a grocery store rolled into one. Every single part of the dandelion, from the sunny yellow flower to the deep, sturdy taproot, is edible and medicinal. The jagged green leaves are a potent bitter tonic that jumpstarts your digestion and is loaded with more vitamin A than spinach and more vitamin K than almost anything else in the garden. While the leaves provide a zesty punch to a spring salad, The flowers can be battered and fried into fritters or fermented into a delicate wine that tastes like bottled sunshine. Beyond the plate, the dandelion is a master of biological mining. Its legendary taproot can drill down deep into the earth, breaking up heavily compacted soil and pulling up minerals like calcium and magnesium from deep, underground where other plants can't reach. This makes the dandelion a self-feeding organism. It mines its own nutrients so you don't have to fertilize it. Even the root itself is a treasure. When dried and roasted, it creates a rich, dark, caffeine-free coffee substitute that supports liver health. Instead of fighting a war against these yellow-headed invaders, the smart gardener embraces them as a free year-round food source. Vegetable 4. Good King Henry. Good King Henry is a set-it-and-forget-it legend that has been largely erased from modern memory. This plant was a staple in European cottage gardens for centuries because it is a perennial, meaning it comes back every single year without you having to lift a finger. In a world where Big Ag wants you to buy new seeds every spring, Good King Henry is a rebel. It provides spinach-like leaves and tender asparagus-like shoots for up to 15 years from a single planting. It originally fell out of favor because it doesn't fit the industrial farming model. It's too independent and doesn't need the constant inputs that make companies money. For you, however, it is the ultimate low-work vegetable. It actually prefers the shady corners of the garden where your sun-loving peppers and tomatoes would struggle and die. Once you get a patch established, it becomes a permanent food station. You can harvest the succulent leaves throughout the summer and the young, flowering stalks in the spring. It is a reliable, hardy, and ancient vegetable that thrives on neglect, making it the perfect prince for any lazy gardener's kingdom. Vegetable 5. Chickweed. While your traditional garden crops are shivering and dying off in the cold, chickweed is just getting started. This plant is the ultimate winter warrior, creating lush, vibrant green mats of foliage during the cool, moist months of early spring and late autumn. Most gardeners see it as an annoying ground cover, but those in the know recognize it as one of the most delicious wild greens available. It has a mild, sweet flavor, often compared to young corn silk or premium sprouts, that far surpasses the bland, wilted lettuce found in grocery stores during the off-season. Chickweed is incredibly tender, meaning you can eat the stems and leaves together without any tough fibers getting in the way. From a maintenance perspective, it is a dream. It self-seeds so aggressively in the fall that it essentially plants itself for the following year. You don't have to worry about rows, spacing, or weeding, because chickweed forms a dense carpet that naturally suppresses other less desirable weeds. It's a permanent, self-maintaining spring salad bar that provides a massive hit of vitamin C and minerals exactly when your body needs them most. Vegetable 6. Stinging nettle. Don't let the name or the initial ouch factor scare you away. Stinging nettle is arguably the most valuable plant on this entire list. While the fresh leaves possess tiny hairs that can cause a temporary sting, this is actually a sign of the plant's incredible potency and mineral content. The moment you dry the leaves for tea or toss them into a pot of boiling water, the sting completely vanishes, leaving behind a rich, earthy green that tastes like a more flavorful version of spinach. Nettle is essentially a living multivitamin. It is an absolute iron mine, packed with protein, calcium, and magnesium. Because it is a perennial that spreads through underground roots called rhizomes, it is the definition of a defensive crop. It guards its own territory and returns every year with more vigor than before. Plant it once in a damp, out-of-the-way spot, and it will provide you with a lifetime supply of nutritious soups, stews, and medicinal teas. It requires no fertilizer because its deep roots are expert at finding their own food, and it's almost entirely pest-resistant. It's a tough, reliable powerhouse that asks for nothing but gives you everything. Vegetable 7. Jerusalem artichoke. If you want a crop that provides massive calories with zero effort, look no further than the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as the sunchoke. These aren't actually artichokes, but members of the sunflower family that grow up to 10 feet tall, topped with beautiful yellow blooms. While they look great above ground, the real treasure is underneath. They produce a staggering amount of knobby, potato-like tubers that have a sweet, nutty flavor similar to a water chestnut. They are so hardy and invincible that the biggest challenge you'll face isn't growing them. It's trying to stop them from taking over the whole yard. They are immune to almost all pests, They don't care about poor soil, and they can survive the most brutal frozen winters. For a lazy gardener, this is a permanent underground food bank. You can dig them up as you need them throughout the fall and winter, and as long as you leave just one tiny piece of a tuber in the ground, the entire crop will grow back the following year. It is a self-sustaining calorie source that turns a neglected patch of dirt into a high-yielding farm. Vegetable 8. Orach. When the midsummer sun starts to beat down and your lettuce and spinach begin to bolt, turn bitter and go to seed, orach is just hitting its stride. Also known as mountain spinach, orach is the heat-proof answer to your summer salad woes. It is a stunningly beautiful plant that comes in vibrant shades of deep purple, ruby red, and neon green, making it look more like an ornamental flower than a vegetable. It has a wonderful, slightly salty flavor that stays mild and delicious even in temperatures that would turn other greens into inedible wood. Orach is a champion of neglect because it is incredibly drought-tolerant and thrives in poor alkaline soils where other plants fail. Perhaps its best feature for the lazy gardener is its ability to drop its own seeds at the end of the season. These seeds are tough enough to survive the winter on the soil surface, meaning that when the weather warms up next spring, your next crop of orach is already planted and ready to go. You get all the beauty of a flower garden and all the nutrition of a superfood with none of the work. Vegetable 9. Wild mustard. Wild mustard is the sprinter of the vegetable world, moving from a tiny seed to a harvestable green in as little as 30 days. It is a pioneer plant, meaning it is specifically designed by nature to show up in bad soil and fix it. As it grows, its roots break up hard ground, and its leaves provide a quick cover to prevent erosion. For the gardener, it offers a bold, peppery kick that clears the sinuses and adds an incredible depth of flavor to stir-fries or salads. Every part of the plant is useful. The young leaves are great for eating. The yellow flowers are a beautiful edible garnish, and if you let the plant go to seed, you can harvest those seeds to make your own spicy homemade mustard. It is a self-planting, self-fertilizing crop that grows so fast that pests usually don't even have time to find it. If you have a bare patch of dirt and you want food fast with zero effort, wild mustard is your go-to solution. It's a weed that feeds you, heals your soil, and replants itself for a permanent spicy supply. Vegetable 10. Miner's lettuce. Named for the California Gold Rush miners who ate it to stay healthy and prevent scurvy, miner's lettuce is a delicate, beautiful green that thrives where almost no other vegetable can, in the deep, damp shade. Most people struggle to grow food in the dark corners of their yard or under the canopy of large trees, but that is exactly where miner's lettuce feels most at home. It has a unique appearance, with round, succulent leaves that look like tiny green lily pads with a small white flower bursting through the center. The flavor is incredibly mild and refreshing, lacking any of the bitterness found in other wild greens, making it a favorite even for picky eaters. It is high in vitamin C and grows rapidly in the cool, moist months of spring. For the lazy gardener, miner's lettuce is the ultimate gap filler. It populates the unused, dead spaces of your property, turning a dark, muddy corner into a lush, edible carpet. It self-sows with ease, meaning once you introduce it to a shady spot, it will return year after year, providing a gourmet spring salad for the cost of absolutely nothings. Vegetable 11. Borage. Borage is widely considered the ultimate best friend for any garden. It is famous for its vibrant, drooping blue flowers that are shaped like five-pointed stars, and both the flowers and the young leaves possess a refreshing flavor that tastes exactly like a combination of cucumber and honey. While it is an annual plant, it is so prolific at dropping its own seeds that once you introduce it to your yard, you will never have to buy a packet of seeds ever again. It simply replants itself in new spots every spring. For the lazy gardener, borage is a secret weapon because it acts as a magnet for honeybees and other vital pollinators. By having borage in your garden, you are essentially hiring a full-time, unpaid workforce to fertilize your other fruits and vegetables, ensuring higher yields for your tomatoes and zucchinis. Beyond its help in the garden, the flowers make a stunning, edible garnish for drinks or salads, and the plant's deep roots help bring up trace minerals from the subsoil, making it a dynamic accumulator that improves the earth just by existing. Vegetable 12. Plantain. It is important not to confuse this plant with the banana-like fruit found in the grocery store. The garden plantain is a rugged, low-growing herb that is likely already living in the middle of your lawn. This plant is a true dual threat because it is both a nutritious food and a powerful medicine. The young, tender leaves can be chopped up into a hearty green salad, providing a boost of vitamins A, C, and K. However, its most famous use is as nature's Band-Aid. If you are out in the garden and get a bee sting, a mosquito bite, or a small scrape, you can simply grab a plantain leaf, chew it for a second to release the juices, and apply it to the skin as a spit poultice to stop the itching and draw out toxins. What makes it perfect for the lazy gardener is its sheer durability. Plantain is designed to survive heavy foot traffic, being stepped on, and even being mowed down by a lawnmower. It is virtually indestructible, thriving in compacted soil where other plants would suffocate, and it requires absolutely no care to maintain its place in your yard. Vegetable 13. Wood sorrel. Wood sorrel is often mistaken for clover because of its 3 heart-shaped leaves, but one bite will tell you exactly why it's nicknamed the lemonade plant. It contains oxalic acid, which gives the leaves and flowers a bright, zesty, and electric lemony punch that kids absolutely adore. It's the perfect way to get children excited about foraging in their own backyard. Wood sorrel is a prolific spreader that loves the shady, damp patches of dirt where your expensive vegetables usually refuse to grow. It essentially turns a problem area into a tangy, self-sustaining snack bar. Because it is a wild-style plant, it requires 0 watering, 0 weeding, and 0 worries from you. It forms a lush green carpet that looks beautiful as a ground cover. And whenever you want a citrusy kick for your salad or a refreshing garnish for a fish dish, you simply reach down and grab a handful. It is a carefree, flavorful gift from nature that thrives on being ignored. Vegetable 14. Amaranth. Amaranth is a towering 8-foot-tall giant that was once a sacred staple crop for the Aztec Empire, and it remains one of the most powerful survival plants you can grow. It is the definition of a powerhouse because it thrives in blistering, record-breaking heat that would turn a pampered tomato plant into a shriveled raisin. With amaranth, you are getting 2 crops for the price of 1. The young leaves are incredibly rich in iron and can be sautéed just like spinach, while the massive seed heads produce thousands of tiny, high-protein grains that can be eaten as a hot cereal or popped like miniature popcorn. It is a rugged, drought-tolerant warrior that doesn't care if your soil is poor or if you've forgotten to water it for weeks. Once the plant reaches maturity, it drops enough seeds to ensure that a new forest of amaranth will pop up the following year, providing you with a permanent, calorie-dense food source that literally grows itself. Vegetable 15. Wild fennel. If you enjoy the sophisticated, licorice-like flavor of anise, then wild fennel is a plant you need to stop pulling out of your garden. Unlike the delicate fennel bulbs you find in the store, wild fennel is a hardy perennial that grows along roadsides and in abandoned lots without a single drop of supplemental water or care. Once it establishes itself in your garden, it becomes a permanent resident, sending up feathery, delicate green fronds and bright yellow flowers year after year. Every part of the plant is edible and aromatic. You can use the fronds as a herb, the stalks as a vegetable, and the dried seeds as a world-class spice for baking or sausage making. It is a high-end culinary ingredient that costs absolutely nothing to maintain. It laughs at heat waves and poor soil, standing tall and beautiful while other plants wilt, providing you with a constant supply of flavor and a haven for beneficial insects like ladybugs. Vegetable 16. Garlic mustard. Garlic mustard is often labeled as an invasive pest by park rangers because it is so incredibly good at growing in the dark, shaded undergrowth of forests. However, for a smart, lazy gardener, this invader is actually a free, high-yield garlic and mustard-flavored pesto machine. It thrives in the deep shade and damp corners of your yard where almost nothing else will grow. By harvesting and eating garlic mustard, you are actually performing a service for the local environment by keeping its spread in check, and in return, you get a gourmet green that is packed with vitamins and minerals. The leaves have a unique, savory bite that makes them perfect for blending into spreads, tossing into stir-fries, or layering into sandwiches. It requires no planting, no fertilizer, and no sunlight, making it the ultimate food source for those difficult parts of your property. Vegetable 17. Clover. Most people spend a fortune on weed and feed products to remove clover from their lawns, but they are actually throwing away the best battery their garden could ever have. Clover is a legume, which means it has the amazing ability to pull nitrogen, the most important plant nutrient, directly out of the air and fix it into the soil through its roots. It is literally a living fertilizer factory that feeds the grass and plants around it for free. Beyond its soil-building skills, clover is also a survival food staple. The sweet-smelling white and red flowers can be dried to make a delicious medicinal tea that has been used for centuries to support respiratory health. And the leaves are an edible, high-protein green. By stopping the chemical sprays and letting the clover grow, you are creating a self-fertilizing lawn that stays green even in a drought, while also providing your family with a free source of tea and nutrition. Vegetable 18. Wild violets. Wild violets are far more than just a pretty spring flower. They are a massive vitamin bomb hiding in plain sight. Most people don't realize that both the heart-shaped leaves and the purple flowers are completely edible and contain significantly more vitamin A and C than most of the produce in your refrigerator. Violets act as a thick, lush, edible ground cover that naturally chokes out the bad weeds, like thistles or prickly vines, that you actually don't want in your yard. They are the perfect solution for dead, shady spots under trees or alongside the house where the grass won't grow. Once they are established, they spread on their own to form a beautiful, flowering carpet that requires zero maintenance. You can toss the flowers into a salad for a burst of color or use the mild leaves as a base for your daily greens, turning your lawn into a nutritional gold mine that looks like a fairy tale. Vegetable 19. Mallow mallow, often called cheeses because of its little round seed pods that look like tiny wheels of cheese, is a plant that has been used for food and medicine for thousands of years. It is a mucilaginous plant, which is a fancy way of saying it has a soothing, cooling texture that makes it perfect for thickening soups and stews or calming a sore throat. It is an incredibly tough plant that can grow in the poorest, most compacted soil imaginable, proving that you don't need a green thumb or expensive raised beds to grow great food. Every part of the mallow plant is useful. The leaves are a mild green, the roots can be boiled into a medicinal syrup, and the cheese pods are a crunchy, fun snack for kids. It thrives in the heat and survives on very little water, making it a reliable survival vegetable that will keep producing even if the rest of your garden fails. Vegetable 20. Shepherd's purse. Ending our list is shepherd's purse, a clever little plant that specializes in the off-season. While most gardeners are waiting for the soil to warm up in the spring or closing down their patches in the fall, shepherd's purse is thriving. It is a cold weather champion that pops up when the garden is otherwise bare, providing fresh greens when you need them most. It is easily identified by its unique heart-shaped seed pods, which have a wonderful peppery bite that tastes a lot like arugula or watercress. It is a rugged little survivor that often grows in the cracks of your patio or along the edges of your garden path. It requires absolutely no effort to grow. It simply appears, offers you a spicy, nutritious harvest, and then drops its seeds to ensure it will be back again next year. It is the perfect final piece to a lazy gardener's puzzle, filling the seasonal gaps with zero-effort food. You might be wondering, why do these 20 specific plants share such superpowers of resilience and nutrition? The secret lies in a biological phenomenon called the disturbance pattern. Most of the plants we call weeds are actually pioneer species. In nature, their job is to rush into broken or disturbed ground, like a landslide, a forest fire, or a freshly tilled garden bed, and stabilize the soil while providing a quick burst of life. Because they are designed to grow in chaos, they have evolved to be faster, tougher, and more nutrient-dense than the pampered plants we usually try to grow. When you till your soil or dig a hole, you are actually calling to these plants. You are creating the exact environment they were born to conquer. The secret to an indestructible, lazy garden isn't trying to create perfect soil. It's about embracing the plants that actually love a challenge. Instead of fighting the disturbance pattern, use it to your advantage by letting these opportunistic powerhouses do the work for you.